That's something that I can't teach you because I can't adequately and consistently predict what the method or methodology they employ, how they start a new week. Now, I can have a conjecture, something that I think might be a scenario that unfolds. And if it does this, then I'll do that. There's scenarios in which I would be willing to engage price action if it meets that criteria. But in the sense of doing that, there's also scenarios where if if it does these other things, then I'm not touching it. And you need to do those types of things in your trading. You need to highlight in the beginning part of your development what makes you comfortable not doing anything. You have to have processes, you have to have routines, protocols that you have written out. Not just, well, it's something I thought of once in a while. No, it's just something you absolutely codified it. It's part of your repertoire. If the market does these types of things, I will not engage, and they need to be cast in stone. It's beneficial for you to have that in the beginning. It's like bowling with those little guardrails. You ever take your kids to the bowling alley, and they have those little rails that you can pull up, so that way nobody ever gets a gutter ball. If given enough momentum forward, the ball will hit a pin or more, and you'll have some kind of response for the children to feel like, oh yeah, I did something. You need every bit of training wheels and those guardrails in the beginning, because you need to see pins drop. You need to see distance in that bike being pedaled by you. Oh, this is what it feels like to be riding a bike. But you know enough to know that even if you lean too far to the left on those training wheels, you're not holding yourself up. Those little training wheels are. And it's a matter of learning how to trade the balancing act of moving left and right and not feeling the effects of the training wheel. And if you can do that, then you can take one training wheel off. And you learn to trade only moving this way to the right, but knowing that this weakness creates a necessity for me to have a training wheel. What do I mean by that? For me, it was shorting. I needed to keep the training wheel on me as a bear when I first started trading as a trader. I was afraid of shorting. I didn't understand the concept. How can you sell something you don't have? And over time, years, I became more comfortable trying it. And it took a lot for me to work through losing going short, because I was wrestling with these preconceived notions that the market action I've had up until that time was only being long. I wanted to be a bull. It made sense for me and why did I think that? I heard one statement, and this is what I want you to understand. This is why it weighs heavily on me as a mentor with having this many people following me now. Larry Williams said, in his 4 VHS tape course, the Confidential Futures Trading Millionaire course, whatever it is. I always butchered the title. The statement he made was, the stock market is predisposed to go up. So therefore, if my hero, the first real mentor that I had, that I subscribed to, everything he said, I hung on every word he said. I trusted everything that man said in print or spoke. And I hung on every word. And because he said that, that was enough for me to never want to go short. Now, I am aware that some of you have an unhealthy reverence towards me. And it's not appropriate. And I don't want to be taken out of context. I don't want to be used as an instigation for you to get into something that's going to hurt you. And I had no real direct reason to be blamed for it, whatever the outcome. Your results are entirely yours. And with this number of people now following me, it's extremely intimidating. I'm not afraid to do it wrong. Okay, that's not what this is. Clearly, I can still talk about it, and I'll talk about it tomorrow. What I think is going to happen. My stuff doesn't stop working because there's more people following. I'm not worried about more people learning how to do it, and they're going to change the algorithm. That's not how this is going to work. Okay, it's not going to stop working. It's never going to stop working. Here's your answer. It's never, ever, 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 ever going to stop working because it is the market. This is what the markets do. When the markets are no longer available to us to be traded, that's when you can't trust it or rely on it because nobody can do anything with it then. Trading is just not allowed anymore. Is there ever going to be a time for that to happen? I don't know, but look at the world in the last 3 years. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen next? They're trying to do all kinds of crazy shit all the time. They have agendas they're trying to fulfill and get to, and at this point, nothing's off the table. But why worry about it? Because it might not ever happen in your lifetime. And you shit the bed and don't worry about trying to pursue something and make your life better because you think it's going to stop working. When you could have had 5 years of doing it and change it and set yourself up for life. You have selective hearing. Some of you don't want to succeed because you don't think you deserve it. And it's easier for you to justify some scenario in your head. Why bother? Because ICT is giving secret signals that the end of the world's coming. So why bother learning how to trade? It pisses me off when I see people do that. When they comment like, if you're saying that we're going to have all these problems and it's going to get harder, why bother learning trading? You know what? Block. Because I can't fix that mentality. That's an ass backwards mentality. That's a victimhood mentality. Okay? Until you can't drive this bitch forward, you drive it till the brakes fall off. That's how you do it. Occupy until I come. That was his instructions, okay? I'm not going to get religious or spiritual here, but that was his instructions. Stay busy, okay? If you're just ready to like, oh, well, things are going to get harder, why bother? Well, that's why 99% of the people stay working their job. They're too afraid to do anything. Not me. Not me, man. I was ready to quit every job I went into. If I knew I was going to find something better, done. No 2-week notice. Fuck you. Keep your job. I'm out of here. I will find something better. Until I figure out what I'm doing in my life, I'm going to not waste my time listening to people that are stupid as fuck that have a manager's title. Okay? I was managed by Carls. That's where that whole idea comes from, Carl. Okay? There was a guy that I worked for that literally was fucking stupid as shit. He had no idea what he was doing. He was a clown. But he acted like he knew everything. And upper management even talked down to him in front of us. But then he would turn around and talk to me and everybody else on my crew. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm out of here. He's still doing that job. Why is he still employed? Who the fuck knows? But he never improved. He never went up to upper management. And they weren't smart enough to fire his ass. And that's what most of you were going to be relegating yourself to. Don't make any change. Why bother? Change is scary. I might as well just eat the shit that they're willing to spoon feed me. At least I'm getting some of my bills paid, and I might not have the life I want, but it's acceptable enough for me now. Why would you accept that? You're worrying about something that might not happen in your lifetime. And you miss the opportunity to improve your life where you don't give a fuck what they're doing in this world. Yeah, I have a lot of money. And if they change the way money is done, which I think it might happen in my lifetime. And my money becomes worthless. We could potentially become Venezuela 2.0 in the United States. It could happen. We could see it. But am I going to lose sleep and drive myself fucking crazy and just stop living my life because the potential's there? No, fuck no. I ain't worried about that. That means you're not living. You're just waiting to die. That's not what I want to do. And if you think that way, oh well, why bother? Then don't listen to anybody, not just me. Don't listen to nobody. Just sit around and wait to fucking die. Just sit down there and wait to die, and just accept it. Greet it with a warm hug. Because that's a victimhood mentality. I don't cultivate that here. I kick you in your ass, tell you exactly the way it is. I don't sugarcoat anything. You're going to work very hard to learn how to do this. And the folks that get there, they know that they worked their ass off to get it. And no one can tell them they didn't earn it. But you're not going to come in here and waltz through with a shortcut and somehow find your way to the front of the line. I've never sold that idea. I've promised that you're going to have to do a whole lot of things you're uncomfortable doing. Defer a lot of instant gratification that you think is owed to you, but you're trying to avoid it by overexposure, doing more than is necessary. I was very pleased to see some of the individuals that are now implementing what I've been talking about the last couple of weeks, which is I gave you a challenge to trade with one micro account, one micro contract, and the point was is you would discover fear of missing out is no longer an issue. Fear of holding on to a trade or getting stopped out is no longer an issue. Performance anxiety about how much you have to make goes away over time, because if you can start making $50 a day, if you just make $50 a day, some of you that are in Africa, literally, that would take away a lot of your problems. Lots of your problems. If you could just do that once a week, a lot of your problems would go away. But you see me, you see my students and other people showing tens of thousands of dollars, and you think that this is the only way to view success. And you subscribe to the problem in this industry, and which is permeated by male theology. It's dick measuring. It's really what it is. And I hate to be crude, but that's exactly what this is. Okay? When somebody looks at somebody and says, "Oh, well, you only did this, but this is what I did." Okay. Show the whole fucking year, not one day where you did something nice and you gave her a smile. Okay? Show the whole year what you deposited and what you're left with. That's called a 1099B. Okay? That's funny how you don't see that shit in the industry. But they want to show you a screenshot on MT4 or show you one broker statement that's 3 pages long, which means they over fucking traded and only made 60 fucking bucks on average per contract. Yeah, that's anemic. You worry about all the wrong things and don't press enough on the things that I tell you should be. If you do the work on the areas I tell you to focus on, most of the problems that you're going to find that most other traders go through, and you won't avoid either, but you'll go through it sooner. It'll be less painful, but it still has to be done. If you do the things I tell you to do and avoid the things I tell you to avoid, you'll get through it sooner. But I'm not promising you speedily through it. But the shortest distance between one place to another is a straight line. And some of you want to do this roller coaster up and down and distraction, and I'm going to try this. He's got something coming out next month. He's got a new model. I can't wait for his books because I'm going to drop everything I've learned so far, and I'm going to do whatever he tells me in this book. Who's at fault when you don't get there? You. Whose credit is it when you get there? Yours. I'm just a conduit. I'm just the person that's relaying the information. But if you don't listen to good advice that's sound, I'm not telling you to go out there and risk money. I'm telling you these are times when I'm not trying to do it with my own. What is that communicating? Does that communicate that this is going to be an easy market? ICT is going to just go out there and slap it around. He's going to come out here and just show this and show that and show this. No, I'm aware that this is going to be problematic. And if given to my own devices, I'm prone to show humanity that I exposed myself in as a 20-year-old, where I'm frail and I will get angry if I do it wrong. I'll want to do it again. So I spent time over the last 30 years identifying where those circumstances manifested itself and what characteristics did it have that I can identify going into a new week or a new trading day, where I can anticipate this unfolding again so I can avoid it. If there's a pitfall there, if there's a snare or quicksand, something that's going to cause me to stumble, I want to know about it in advance. I don't want to blindly walk into a dark room with sharp objects pointing at me and run into it full steam. And that's exactly what some of you are wanting to do. And then surprised why you got your ass impaled. I don't know how that happened. Good grief, man. I'm never going to win this stuff. It's rigged against me. None of this stuff works. ICT's a fraud. that's the short cycle of most of the people that come to me and they don't do it right. They try to rush through it. And that's the common consensus at the end. When they've done everything wrong. They've done everything wrong and they didn't do the things I told them to focus on. But it's interesting when the folks that put the work in, the real work is for you to stay diligent, doing the things I tell you to focus on. Because once you get that data behind you and you have all of this exposure to looking for it in old data, where you can't weigh it out, where it's a report card for you as a pass or fail, a profit or a loss. It's you conditioning yourself, seeing something. That repetition of looking at it, this is what it looks like in hindsight, over and over and over again. In the first time when I ever mentioned the fair value gap, you didn't understand it. You're thinking, what makes that a fair value gap? Like, it wasn't easy to see it, even though it is the easiest visual representation of a PD array. It's the easiest thing to see. But now, by contrast, you look at a chart, and someone's chart gets put up on social media, or you watch another YouTuber that doesn't do anything that we do, and they're looking at charts, and they point up a chart, and they have whatever the fuck they put on their chart. It could be indicators, no indicators, it doesn't matter. But your eye will immediately jump right to that fair value gap. And it's amazing how they don't even fucking talk about it. And there's a trade right when it trades into it, they don't talk about it. It starts moving, and then they say, wow, this is a nice run right there. Look at that big rip right there. But you saw that coming. How did that happen? By conditioning yourself, looking at old data, back testing, studying it, logging it, journaling it, annotating it. That way it means something to you. And you sugarcoat it with commentary like you saw it live. You're training your subconscious. You're tricking your brain as a pseudo experience, as a moment or a memory that did not physically happen, but you're basically, it's like a self hypnosis. Exactly what it is. You're conditioning your subconscious to see that as a memory that you experienced real time, and you're shielding all the negative, and you're sugarcoating it with your commentary. And you do this every day for months. By default, when you're watching real-time price action and you're tape reading, that means you're not pressing a demo, you're not doing a combine challenge, you're not pressing a button with a live account, you're not trading a funded account. You're just simply observing price action, and you're watching it, and you're seeing, does it behave like you would expect? Where there's no monetary result that's going to be detrimental or impactful in a positive sense at all, because you're not pressing the button. You will start seeing that you can read the price action real time. And you need to do that for months. Once you're consistently able to do that, unless you can do that part and you can see what these moves are going to do, and you can see when price runs begin, where it should not go past this point at this point here, and it should reach up here, why the fuck are you touching a demo account? If you can't do that, why are you, don't even reset the account. Don't touch it. The only thing that demo account is going to do is cause you to believe that you're ready to do something that you're not. And you're going to have selective memory about all the times that you didn't do it right. And there's 2 or 3 times where it made $50,000 with a 50 lot on gold. And you took 16 entries. Don't even know why the fuck you did it, but they're only off by 1 tick. That makes me sick when I see MT4 guys doing that shit. Here's my gold trades today. 50 lots, and look at their entry prices. They're off by 1 tick. That means they're just doing a whole bunch of shit. They're shotgunning it. Boom, 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 boom. No logic being employed. And they're getting out just a couple points. But they're so fucking over leveraged, and they're doing all these multiple entries. Start paying attention. Don't. Everybody wants to look at that number on the right hand side. There's blue numbers showing the money. That's fake. They don't buy shit with that. They're not paying taxes on that. But that gives them a rise. It makes them feel good because someone gives them a like, and now they got a dopamine hit. That's what they're trading that demo account for, because they don't have any fucking skill. They ain't going to make any money off of it. They are getting the reaction that makes them feel significant on social media. These are social media people. They're not traders. They're getting their scratch and itch off of that interaction. And you're being inspired thinking, wow, if I could just do that, but they're not doing anything. And you avoid the real work that's required to make those real numbers. Where you can withdraw that kind of fucking money and spend it. Make a change in your life, impact your family tree, start doing things on a positive. But you're not going to get there overnight. And you're gonna have times in the market where it kicks your fucking ass. And you gotta go home with whelps, bruises, contusions, concussions maybe. And when you blow your account, it puts you in a coma. That's all, until you get enough more scratch to get in there and reset that account and re-up it again. It's just a fucking trading coma. Not every coma is terminal. Until you get the scratch to put back in your account, then you're in a coma. But people that want to trade, blowing an account ain't going to stop that. They have a tenacious spirit within them, and it's required. Not required that you blow your account or accounts, but the tenacity to know that even if you fuck it up, even if you do something wrong, and you habitually do it wrong in the beginning, that's not a terminal outcome for you as a trader. It just means that you have a lot of opportunity to fix. But so many of you are walking around with your hands like blinders on, pretending that you're not doing those things to yourself. And you're only focusing on the good stuff. But you're not identifying the areas to improve on. When you journal, you sugarcoat yourself. But you have to be conscious to the things that you're repeating that are problematic. You don't record those negatively in your journal. You make observations and you work towards removing the opportunities for those things to be invited into your trading or your progress. While you're going through the motions of learning how to trade, you want to keep the stimuli at a minimum. Social media is not the best thing for that. It's the worst thing. You're going to get people giving you influence about why you're wasting time doing this. Their shit's supposed to be better, and they're fucking blowing their accounts out. They're fucking cherry picking their successes, but they're not willing to show you everything. And because you're toxic, because you can't find success, it's easier for you to jump on somebody else's opinion about me or anyone else's that may have helped other people, because you're hurting. And misery loves company. And yeah, I subscribe to that view because I feel like I had a bad day and this feels good to bitch about something else besides myself. Put fault on somebody else. But guess what? You can't do that. In trading, you own every bit of it. Nobody put you in your trades, but you did. You did it. ICT never said buy or sell. Tom, Dick, and Harry mentorship. They might want to tell you to buy and sell, where the stop loss should be if they even use one. I don't do that here. I teach you how to reprice, trust yourself and your own analysis, and then when you do it the right way, you'll know that moment. You'll know that moment when you are absolutely comfortable going in and assuming real risk. You'll never need to ask me. You'll know. It won't be overconfidence. It'll be sheer boredom that you know that once you start doing this, you're going to make money. You won't be perfect. You'll have losing trades, but that losing trades will not change your mind about what you're doing. Your model still works. But see, you're not taught to think that way. This industry doesn't teach that. It doesn't do that at all. It's get rich quick, push your edge when you don't have an edge in the beginning. So if you have a dull edge and you're pushing it, how can you expect to carve out profitability? You can't. And a dull knife is dangerous. I said it correct. A dull knife is dangerous. You're expecting it to do something, perform a function, and when it doesn't do it, you can get injured from it. A sharp knife that's in the hands of someone that knows how to use it and respects its instrument, it's a safe instrument. But in the hands of someone that's not experienced with it, they themselves and anyone else around them can be harmed. It's maturity, it's objectivity. And you need to know, knowing where you're going to be in trouble. How do you do that? Experience. How do you get the experience? Doing the things I tell you. Avoid the things I tell you not to do. Journaling. Allow for the experience to take root. And that experience will lift you like a feather. It'll carry you through these times where everybody else is going to be like, man, I missed these moves, or I lost my account chasing this, but this is the move I should have saw coming. There's a lot of regret right now on social media over this week. A lot of people in our community that killed it, did real well. But there's some people in there that said, I wish I wouldn't have traded. And that hurts me because I do go out of my way to point to times when, even in my own trading, admittedly, I'll have less precision because of the climate that we're in. It's more likely to be heavily manipulated. You don't think for a moment, for just for the sake of discussion here, okay? With everything that's going on and the profit that's made in war, you don't think that they're actively engaging and trying to keep all this stuff going? We are calling on Israel to not do the ground invasion. Don't do that. They may say that on the surface, but they're secretly wanting all that to happen and more because they're going to fucking profit off of it. Wartime machines make billions of dollars. And whenever there's a problem, the final card they use is war. I said all this stuff in the summer of 2016. Everything that's happening right now, they're following the same MO. It's the same process they do all the time. And you don't want to believe there's an algorithm. You honestly think that their whole structure and their whole financial empires, that they kill presidents and leaders and put other people in so that way they can have a central bank in that country. But there's no algorithm. There's no manipulation. There's no control where they're going to let their empire be at the control and risk of a group of speculators. Man, that's some religion right there. Oh man, that's rich. That's so good. You really think that they're not going to have things in place to control how far it can go and when it's going to go where they want it to? They do so much to make sure that they can put a central bank in any country of their choosing, but they don't run the markets. Come on, man. Seriously. You drank the Kool-Aid. You really have fallen for it. I get it. I know. It completely upsets the whole thing, and you'll be viewed as a weirdo, some kind of a zealot and nutcase and conspiracy theorist. Funny thing about conspiracy theorists, they tend to be pretty accurate. They're what the other current conspiracy theories. I was saying this the other day with my son. I said, you know what? I told you UFOs are going to be a thing, and now they're all over the place. And now the government came out and said it, and they brought those fake ass alien bodies. Mexico brought them. They're fucking fake. Come on. Then they got Bigfoot caught. I don't know if you saw it, but in Arizona, some couple was riding on a train. And then there comes Bigfoot walking in and sits down. He's watching the train go by. So there's footage of Bigfoot. So what are we missing now? The fucking Loch Ness Monster. I'm waiting for it. Someone's going to have Loch Ness Monster. Okay? They're going to have video footage. Because nothing else is left on the list of conspiracy theories. Okay? Everything else has been checked off. All boxes have been checked. Simpsons call the future. Like everything. Everything is a conspiracy until it's not. So I get it. You won't be accepted in your circle of friends and influences. And if you're in the financial industry, you're not going to be able to talk about an algorithm running everything. Because they're going to like, what are you talking about, dude? We went to school, we learned this, they put us through this and that. Right. Because you have an image to uphold. I don't have an image to uphold. Image is bullshit. What is the slogan for Sprite? Image is nothing, obey your thirst. And I thirst after excellence. I'm not going to drink their bullshit. I'm not going to fall victim to their bullshit shenanigans. Early on, I did. But when you finally understand how all this stuff works, it's liberating. It's scary. And you think about how uncomfortable it is thinking like this. And how everybody else doesn't think this way. And if you're weak-minded, they'll beat you and make you feel like what you're thinking isn't real. because they need their shit. They need their illusion to be maintained. Otherwise, it brings into question their whole existence and their whole paradigm falls. But when you take a step back and say, okay, look, you're sitting in the house and you're talking to your spouse or your boyfriend, girlfriend, somebody else that's in there with you, and you start talking about something. And then all of a sudden, your fucking phone starts throwing advertisements on the very thing that you just talked about. Now, years ago, when it first started happening, people were like, this must mean the universe is telling me I need to buy this. Because look at this. It just keeps coming up. Or for some of you, God must want me to buy this. This is the solution. When it's just a fucking algorithm listening to you on a device that you paid for, and it's eavesdropping, and it's controlling you. It's inspiring you to spend money that you probably can't afford to spend for shit that you don't need, that nobody's going to give a fuck about, that you own. But you want to buy it because you want to impress people that you don't like. But there's no algorithm in the market. Oh, there's some good shit, man. Come on, really. It is mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling that they would risk the everything they've worked for, all the control, all the vast richness and wealth and empire that they've created, and they wouldn't have mechanisms in place that cause how markets go up and down, how far they'll go, when they'll go, time everything. Time it all. And they don't have to worry about it. It's controlled, it's scripted. And it's such a hard thing for you to swallow when I'm proving it every single week. Come on, it's fun. It's fun to see so many people resist it. Because deep down inside, they're thinking, if that's real, everything that I've lived is a lie. Everything that I believed in is false. And I've been led astray and deceived. And I'm here to tell you that's exactly what has taken place. That's the truth. Deception. That's what's been running rampant. Information has exploded. Everybody can see it now. And when these things start amping up and really accelerating, you honestly believe that your social media is going to be acceptable and allowed? Nope. Internet going to be killed. When we lose internet connection, it's because the real shit's hitting the fan. And they do not and will not allow cell phone, telephone, or internet. Email won't happen. Instant message won't happen. Social media updates won't happen. Even Telegram won't happen. Then you know you're in the shit. That's when shit is really hitting the fan. Because they're not going to allow coordination, the sharing of information, so other people can make themselves ready. And that's not fear-mongering. That's the reality. And until that day comes and that unfolds, I'm doing whatever the fuck I'm doing normally.